Hi, this is the Parsha in 5, where in 5 minutes we try to give you a little insight into the Parsha. And we're going to focus this week on Parshas Tetzaveh, the Big Day Kahuna. And Gemara in Erchin explains, it's also Gemara in Zvachim, that the Big Day Kahuna, each one of the begadim was made to bring forgiveness for different sins. And it goes through what the different sins are. And it says the me'il, which is this poncho made out of solid blue with little bells and little balls on the bottom of it, so that when you walk it jingles. Yeah, the me'il gets forgiveness for the sin of Lashon hara. Why? Because let the beged that makes noise get kapara for the sin that is caused by making noise, which is, of course, Lashon hara. So how exactly is the me'il? I understand it makes noise, but what's the relationship? The Tzippy and the Malbim both sort of explain this idea. And that is the following. A me'il is a beged that is specifically for important people. A me'il is a choshev beged. You see this by Shmuel, that Shmuel has a me'il. You see it by a melech, that he has a me'il. A me'il is a chosheva beged. I remember seeing a sign years ago that said, great people speak about ideas, average people speak about things, small people talk about other people. Because that's all that they can think of. Yeah? And it's sad. But it's true. People who feel good about themselves don't have to put other people down. If the only way you can build yourself up is by attacking other people and speaking about them and trying to make them look bad and embarrass them in front of other people, it doesn't say much about you. It must be you have so little to offer that the only way that you can feel important is by putting other people down. So therefore, the real cure for Lashon hara is Lashon Tov. Speak well. So what do? I give you a me'il. This is a very important beged, because you're a very important person. And I put little bells at the bottom of your beged, and in between I put little, they're not called little balls, they're called little rimonim, pomegranates. Why? Because there's a tradition that a pomegranate has 613 seeds. I don't know if this is true or not. I had a daughter who used to try every year to count, and somebody would always eat one of them, and it would always turn out poorly. But I don't know, I have never counted it. But that's the tradition. It has 613 seeds. It's filled with mitzvahs. You know how you ring the bell? Bang into a pomegranate. If the noise that you make is coming from Taryag mitzvahs, if the noise that you're making is coming because you're doing something good, you'll find it's so much nicer to say good things about people than bad things about people. And people who make that effort to say good things, they're able to change the world. I've told this story before. I don't know if I've told it in the Parsha in 5, but it's one of my favorite stories. Because I have an older brother, Gedalia, who's one of my heroes. And he was once at a davening, and these two guys are talking through the Kriya Torah. And he says, please, I can't hear the Kriya. And they said, okay. And a minute later, they start talking again. And he says to them, you're coming to shul. You want to do a mitzvah. Why would you sit here and talk through the laning? And they said, no, you're right. And a minute later, they started talking again. He said, so I got upset. Now, when an Orlofsky gets upset, that usually means something different than this story. That's why I say he's one of my heroes. He looked at them and he said, I'm a Kohen. And in the schus of you not talking during the davening, I give you a bracha, you should get a large parnasa this year. And they stopped talking. At the end, one of them said, you think all I care about is money? To which I would have said, obviously it was the only way I could get you to be quiet. But my brother said, no. I just know that a person like you would know how to use the parnasa that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you for Klal Yisrael. The person walked away feeling so chashuv and so good about himself that it allowed him to walk away and feel like a mensch. Let us stop speaking Lashon Hara by speaking Lashon Tov. Good Shabbos.